feel like Troy Weaver addressed the needs of the Pistons so far this offseason? This is a question for you. I will answer it as well. I'm just going to start it off, and I say not all of them. We talked about it earlier on the podcast. 3-point shooting, that has been addressed. Backup point guard, that has been addressed. The biggest hole, and we've already talked about it, is that 4 spot, and that has not been addressed. I believe that they're going to give every opportunity for Isaiah Stewart, James Wiseman, for them to do their thing and at the forward and center position. But I feel like Troy Weaver has hit 2 out of the 3 issues that we needed, and I give him a decent letter grade for it. But what do you think? Do you think he's addressed the needs of this team?
I think he addressed 3-point shooting, but I think our defense still needs work.
Yeah,
I don't really think we addressed defense as much as we should. I think he did with the Asar Thompson pick. I think I almost said Monty Williams. Monte Morris is a good defender, but he's not a lockdown defender.
Yeah.
I still think you need to address defense because obviously you can't like lock down people nowadays, but you can still play it. Like it's a technique at the end of the day. I think they need to address defense more, and then you can kind of like go down the list. 3-point shooting, check. Defense, check. I just don't think he really addressed defense so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big one, though. I mean, I feel like, though, he still touched on it, though, with Asar Thompson and Marcus Sasser, but they are rookies. Like, you don't just want to throw those crazy expectations where they're going to be locking people up from day one, because the NBA is a very different game. We all know that. But you are right that defense is still a weakness, but Jaden Ivey, I feel like, is going to take a step. Jalen Duren's going to take a step in the right direction. Cade Cunningham, he's a two-way player. Isaiah Livers, if he's healthy, that helps with defense. So there are guys, Isaiah Stewart, there are guys on this team that can make a name for themselves as defensive players, because they've definitely shown flashes on that side of the ball. So I don't feel like that was one of the larger issues for the team. I know that sounds kind of crazy. I just felt like last season they were playing so many G League guys towards the end of the year, and, you know, because there were so many guys that were dealing with injuries, we really didn't get to see the whole defensive side of things yet. I think Troy Weaver and the coaching staff believe that these guys can play defense, so it wasn't such a large need in the offseason. That might sound kind of silly to a few people, but we just need to see this team healthy and see how they play on that side of the ball. But those bigger issues that I felt like, not, because it's very much you got to put points on the board. And they were generating a lot of open threes. They just needed someone to knock them down. That, I felt like that was the number one need this offseason, and they addressed that. So, but that 4 spot, that's the spot I'm looking at. Maybe there's a trade coming. Who knows? But I felt like overall Troy Weaver has done a decent enough job at addressing the needs of this team this offseason so far.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't think they're ready. They're in a position where they felt like they need to go sign guys like Houston.
Okay.
I think they were just okay with taking flyers for 1 year and see what happens. I think they're really banking on the development of Cade, Ivey, and Duren, having them take a next step in their development and see what they have before they really invest into like long-term contracts, which I think is smart, because they could have spent the bag on Cam Johnson, but let's say he only plays 30 games and you have all that money invested. Like it doesn't really do you anything. I think that's why they didn't really go out and, sign a guy to a 4 or 5 year contract. I think they're just playing the safe game and seeing what they have in Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, and Jalen Duren. And then they can kind of, reassess what they have from there.